So, we've done a lot in the last few videos, but it's almost felt a little bit chaotic. We've been running here and doing this and running there and doing that, and it's been a lot of side stuff. We did a big exploration of New Austin when we went to track down our first treasure from our first treasure map, the first treasure map that we really followed up on. So that took some time. We've done some coach tips, in addition to really just a lot of other side stuff lately. So I wanted to bring everything back and really start to focus in again on some of the finer points of the game, particularly regarding the main story, getting back on track with that and keeping up with it. And then we have the John exclusive Stranger mission, the American Inferno Burnt Out. So those are the two main things that I want to kind of refocus in on here as we look at concluding Epilogue Part 2. This is Sweetfish Plays, and this is Red Dead Redemption 2. You know those creepy, multi-legged centipede insects? Often find them in basements and cold dwellings. About 5 minutes ago I looked down and there's one crushed under my bare foot. So nothing like that to wake me up and get me going for a stream. I've had them crawl in between my toes before, especially in the like early in the morning or late at night, depending on how you view it. Creepy buggers. John Marston. John Marston has been a lot of fun to take over following the end of Arthur Morgan's saga, if you will. We've had a lot of the same struggles with John Marston as a character that we had with Arthur Morgan, especially when it comes to upkeep of the character. So that's the first thing that I want to focus on here in this one today, as I've been trying to really focus in on over probably at least the last 10 or so videos now. He's doing pretty well right now, but you can see he's still listed as underweight. I've had some struggles with my horse the same way, just keeping up with it. I don't know what it is about it that I struggle with so much. I guess just the consistency with which I'm feeding both my character and my horse. Maybe I just haven't really established any sort of routine involving it. It's funny because I pimped my horse is okay right now. I should probably eat here, but I pimped at the end of the last video, I pimped my next stream, this stream here, by saying, we'll go into town and get a haircut, as if that's something that all of my viewers are so looking forward to. But no, upkeep has become a big part of how I play the game and my strategy in playing the game over the last little while. A lot of the feedback, that I've received about how I play and how I can play better, has been well received. I feel like my playing style has really evolved, and that it continues to evolve. Even though I'm in the epilogue and coming to the end of the game, I still feel like there's some evolution to my play style. there's definitely a learning curve with this game, and it doesn't really come down to being life and death at the end of the day, because you can really not develop a routine. You can really not strictly follow any sort of upkeep with your character, and it will have negative effects. But you know, even when I've been at the worst of my times, it hasn't really killed me. It hasn't really gotten to that point. But there's a real learning curve when it comes to your cores and keeping everything up and knowing when it's time to take a break from the Wild West and eat and sleep. And I feel like I'm still, you know, not getting a hang of it. I feel like I've kind of gotten a hang of it, but there's still a little bit of an adjustment for sure. It's a hard game, and you don't really realize that until you play it. There's really an element of survival to it. I've mentioned that before, and also like a simulation sort of aspect to it, a la The Sims or something like that. So there's a lot going on here outside of just the story and whatnot. It's nighttime right now, so we're not going to be too lucky with going to get a haircut. It is something, like I said, I want to do right off the bat here, is eat. I'll just eat some of my the consumables from my inventory and a haircut, and that's how that'll be my upkeep for the day.
Hello, sir.
Every time I ride into Blackwater, it feels like Red Dead 1, because I rode into Blackwater so many times in the original Red Dead. The city didn't ring a lot of bells until I first went to the downtown core, that main street, and then once I saw these kind of buildings on the outskirts here, these were dead giveaways for me in remembering the first game. My experiences with the first game. I was like a teenager when I played the first game. I was probably in like grade 12 or something. It was that long ago.
Just talk to me. Does anyone even notice the accent?
Nope. I guess it's 5:13 a.m. No better time than 5:13 in the morning to hit up the saloon and grab some hard booze. Tequila, please, good sir.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Been a while.
Is that a spider web hanging from your cards?
Poker table is full of happy patrons.
What do you need then?
I could just get some food while I'm here too. I've got some money in my pocket. I've had food here the last couple times though, and the peach cobbler and prairie chicken, it gets old eating the same thing over and over again.
Table's growing moss.
We'll just have some whiskey, and like I said, I'll just eat some of my consumables. I'm just trying to kill some
This
time
is
here
yours.
until the barbershop opens.
Yep.
Geez, by the time the barbershop opens, we'll be stumbling through the front doors.
Just give me a drink, quick.
Hello, sir.
There.
I don't do this often.
Poker shows a man's
Same with smoking. I get the appeal with Deadeye for smoking, especially with cigars, and they have chewing tobacco as well. But I never really take the time to hit up the bar and
Can I get a whiskey?
shots.
There's something for you.
This is number 3, I think.
If I don't win soon, the wife's gonna kill me.
Keeping track of shots can be a very difficult task. I'm 3 in and I'm already having issues.
Got a hunch
Whiskey,
on this.
please.
Okay, why not?
We have $481. Like I said, we are
This
not
is yours.
short on cash here. And no, I'm not drinking out of my depression from Abigail leaving me.
All right, I'll buy it.
It's 6:30. I think most of the shops around town open around 7 a.m. or something like that. So it shouldn't be too long of a wait now. They may already be open. Looks like it is already open.
So,
Apparently it's very busy. Holy Christ. In Blackwater in the morning. Look at all those people. Damn, very realistic. When we came riding into town, it was like just after 5 o'clock in the morning and it was completely dead. It is always like that, even in major cities now, you know, 4 or 5 a.m. it's still pretty dead, but come 6, 7 o'clock, those city streets are a-booming. I don't think I've ever received a haircut from this barber, so not only can we get a haircut, but we can release a review on Yelp for, what is this place? Wilton's Barbershop. Let's check it out.
Hi there. Come on in.
Are you Wilton? Because now I feel like I'm getting ripped off if my hair is not cut by a guy named Wilton. It's a beautiful day. Look at that sun pouring in there. Dang. Yeah, sorry. I'd like to cut my hair.
What'll it be today?
Don't most people walk in your front door seeking that? Okay, so I think we need a trim on the hair and the facial hair. I have not really done much with John Marston, with John Marston's head, I should say, since we started the epilogue. So I could definitely use a trim, but I'm thinking we go full-on new hairstyle for John Marston here. It's the 1900s now. We don't need this 1800s style hair here. We need the next best haircut to conquer John Marston's head. I want something that makes John Marston look like a new man again. That definitely makes John Marston look like a new man. How about bald? To be honest with you, he doesn't look awful bald. What a shocker that would be for Abigail to come home and find John Marston just
what is it that you
fully
need?
shaved head. We never did anything like that with Arthur Morgan throughout the entire game. We never really did anything drastic. I think maybe once we might have gone to like a really short hair like that, like a buzz. But everything else is pretty long. I know I can change the length here. So let's look at some of these ones here, but just with a... See, that's with pomade in the hair, but it's still...
Take a seat and we'll get started.
This is what we have right now, I believe. Okay, so you can take it down to like a 1. That cuts it up, and then maybe get some pomade or something like that. I'm not sure. We'd have to cut the hair and then have a look and see what we could do. What about... No, see, that's kind of similar to what we had with Arthur. I want to do something really different
Whiskers are
here. I don't want to say
old-fashioned, from
drastic
what I hear.
necessarily. Guys, I'm thinking bald here. I'm thinking that John is has heard his calling for The Shining, and he's ready to join the bald movement.
That's pretty good.
John Marston's head is now bald, guys. Honestly, out of all of the plot twists and crazy shit that's happened over the course of this game, I think nothing will compare to me chopping off all of John Marston's every last bit of John Marston's hair. All right, that's enough burning time with John Marston's head. Let's have a look at John Marston's chin. It'll be much more intriguing.
The ladies love a gentleman with a well-groomed mustache.
Is that true though? So we could go extra clean shaven, and there's John Marston's trademark scars once again. Something that we really can't see when he's got that big beard, so we could go completely shaven here. Wow, talk about a new man. We could do something like that where it's mostly clean shaven. At least then he still has a little bit, you know, it doesn't look like he's prepubescent. You know, it looks like there's some level of fun going on his chin.
Like I always
and you
say,
know,
your hair is your first impression.
I know. It's not like I need to make Abigail fall back in love with me, though. What about... I'm thinking because we already went so drastic on the hair that we don't do something like that. Like, I don't think Abigail is yearning to come back to John with a Shih Tzu on his face. Okay, the Josiah. I don't know, man. We mostly did crazy, wacky facial hair with Arthur. Like I said, mostly kept the hair normal. We did do like a mustache and stuff like that. I think we did like the Spartan. We could definitely... That's kind of cool. That's kind of a cool one for John, and we could go down to the smallest. At least then he's cleaning it up, and you know, you can still see those scars. Might be still a little bit too long, though. Guys, I think we're going clean shaven on this one.
Smooth look for smooth sailing, I say.
Will you move?
Now, I'm pretty sure I don't have a hat. Maybe on my horse. I'll have to get a hat because, I mean, let's be honest, I don't want to be blinding all these pedestrians outside.
Thank you.
If the brightness turns up too much for you, just make sure to pop that brightness level down and you'll be popping. We do have some goodies. Canned salmon is good. Kidney beans. Baked beans. Let's eat some of this here. Let's get going. So the canned salmon sounds good. The canned kidney beans sound good.
Watch out.
We did some quote-unquote shopping last time as well. I knew I was really short on these provisions. I was calling them consumables. Provisions here. I walked into the shop. I guess it was what? I can't remember where the shop was now. Which one it was. But anyways, there was nobody there, and so I think it was the one here in Blackwater, and so I just ended up taking what I could and left. Nobody said nothing to me, and we'll have this piece of salted beef here as well. Feed my horse, and we will be off to the races. No pun intended. Don't I have like I mean, you got to be honest. My level of punnery is up there.
Real handsome.
Punnery and sarcasm.
Hungry feller.
This is one of them days.
We look out for each other, huh?
That's a good boy, Clutch.
That's my boy.
Okay. Now I just need... the John Classic hat, and we're go.
Here we go, boy.
I need some hat. This is the least amount of hair that has been on any of my characters throughout the whole game. I'm still not entirely sure how I feel about that. We're going to do the American Inferno Burnt Out Part 3. Check in on Evelyn Miller at his cabin in Tall Trees. It has been a couple days, I think, since we last spoke to Evelyn. It was in our last video, but still I think a couple of in-game days passed. We have quite the relationship going with Evelyn Miller right now, and to be honest with you, I have absolutely no clue how this relationship between John and Evelyn is going to grow. I hope that it flourishes. I'm really hoping that John can take something from Evelyn, and that Evelyn can take something from John, because Evelyn's kind of in a little bit of a crisis right now himself. Obviously, it was reported that he left his job, and He's the famous author that Dutch had many good things to say about throughout much of the game. We heard a lot about Evelyn Miller. Evelyn Miller, real intellectual character. He's pretty book smart when it comes to the American West and the frontier, and what the
Slow now.
was that? Did you see that? That buggy has dead people on it and there was only one horse.
That all?
Am I gonna get ambushed here? I feel like this is a trap. They're dead, they have arrows. I'm gonna be careful here. Looks like the Skinner Bros. I just want to be wary in case they're still around. Right, that's another thing that I never really did. Another revenue stream, selling wagons at the wagon fence at Emerald Ranch. I think we've taken some of the stolen wagons that we've got before there, as per story requests and whatnot. It wasn't me. I lost a little bit of honor there for looting the corpse, for knocking him off of the buggy and then looting him, but I got some gold out of that I can later sell.
Good morning.
It came from this direction, the wagon. We know this area is infested with the Skinner Bros. We faced so many gangs throughout the main course of the game. I didn't think that it would be such a point of emphasis here in the epilogue, but the Skinner Bros and the Del Lobos gang has been very prevalent throughout the entirety of the epilogue. It started with the Skinner Bros and their brutality, and now it's kind of extended more when we go down into New Austin. We've encountered this Del Lobos gang on multiple occasions, and they really aren't any better. Yeah, very interested to see how the relationship between John Marston and Evelyn Miller evolves. I think a lot of the cores and foundations of what Dutch believed in came from Evelyn Miller, so I'm going to be interested to see if we catch any glimpses of Dutch and that sort of mentality that we're used to with Evelyn. My horse is having a small panic attack over something here. We're in the Tall Trees region now. This is the area where Evelyn Miller has his cabin. It's become one of my favorite regions to explore in the game so far. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful region. It's like the Grizzlies for me. Love it. Yeah, I mean, I think there's 5 parts. I think when I checked, there's 5 parts to this piece with Evelyn Miller. The last part, we were just having another really kind of deep conversation with Evelyn Miller, and he said he would go and show us You know, I think he is not a fan of how the landscape of the United States is changing during this time. And you know, we came across some traps, some hunters that were trapping animals, and he ended up trying to intervene and get involved with them and say something, and they punched him, and then we had to intervene and knock those two guys out. And so we are getting quite involved with Evelyn Miller here on a friendship level, standing up for him like that. But I'm still not quite sure, maybe the best way to put it is what Evelyn Miller's point is, and kind of what he's getting at. What? Oh, I hear you.
Well, hey there! Taking care of something private here. Why don't you just head the other way?
Oh, Jesus, man. You okay?
We was just camping.
Man, I'm so sorry.
Please leave me alone.
I'm gonna take an apple just because I feel like I deserve an apple for intervening there, and I'm not gonna lose any honor, so I'm gonna take the second apple as well. That's the least I should get for saving her life. Maybe I'll loot some of these Skinner bros while I'm here too. Don't want to hang around too long because I do want to afford her some privacy. Man, I'm telling you, this is how brutal the Skinner bros are. These two lovely people were literally just camping out here, and the Skinner bros killed her husband. You can see quite violently. I thought I heard somebody like hitting somebody else with an axe. Quite a violent kill, and then it looked like they were maybe in the process of taking advantage of her. Pretty gross. Yeah, let's get this underway here. Without further ado, we're pretty close to Evelyn Miller's cabin now.
Easy now. Mr. Miller. Mr. Miller, you about?
Hello, sir. I'm working, I'm afraid.
Okay.
I'm desperately trying to finish my book. It's absolute tripe, you know, but it's all I've got left.
Well,
I'm not eating, drinking liquor, or leaving this cabin until this draft is complete.
okay.
I feel amazing! Aside from the doubt and self-loathing, but I've seen a great beauty, John.
Okay. You take care of yourself. Get yourself something to eat.
I can't fight my own nature. None of us can.
So we have a goal here. Bring food for Evelyn Miller. Oh man, it's a storm moving in. I heard this big roar. I thought it was thought it was like a thunderstorm. Looks like we already have some food that we can leave for him in our possession right now. We just have stringy meat. That's all, and that's the last bit that I have. And then I have some of these provisions as well. So I can give him, I can afford probably 1 plain stringy meat. I guess maybe it's only 1 thing that we're leaving for him.
I brought you some food, Mr. Miller.
Just let me complete this thought, eh? There's a good man.
Okay, so it says return to Evelyn Miller's cabin with more food later. So I guess in order to complete this next part, we have to kind of keep returning to his cabin periodically and leave little bits of food to support him. So I left some meat there. I'll try and come back, maybe give him some canned pizzas. Like I said, I do have some provisions on me, more than I had previously after doing that little thievery job at the general store, but it's good. And I'll see in the meantime if maybe I can go about acquiring some more food. One thing I haven't done in a long time is hunt. I feel like I have not come across like a real huntable wild animal in a long time. I probably have. I'm probably just oblivious to it. But we will return here to Tanner's Reach by Aurora Basin, where he is in the Tall Trees region. In the meantime, we can get back on track with our next main story mission, which is Uncle's Bad Day. Check on Uncle and Charles' progress with the barn. That's where we are with our story. We're at Beecher's Hope, John's new property. He was able to acquire the barn and the funds for the barn after helping Sadie with another bounty job. And we have seen some of the progress that they've made on the barn already, but let's go see if anything else has come along. So Evelyn Miller is trying to pump out a draft for a new book that he's writing, getting back in touch with his writing.
Easy now.
I had to. Oh, I hate when they're still alive. Oh, it is the worst. I'm sorry, baby. That does not get easier. I always feel like a horrible person doing that. But a man's got to eat, you know? And some of this meat that I'll get here could be used as part of this Evelyn Miller mission. It's a poor deer pelt. We get a couple of mature venison meats, though. That's what I really wanted out of that. It wasn't a very, very large deer.
Partner.
Evelyn obviously kind of left his writing career behind him. I guess feels maybe like some of his ideas are outdated. now that the world is changing so quickly, but you know, John Marston may be the guy that's able to give him the kick in the butt and get him back on track here. At the end of the day, I just want to see both Evelyn benefit John and John benefit Evelyn. A lot of stranger missions, you know, you're really helping out somebody, so you're the helper. But you know, one thing I found with the stranger mission between John and Arthur and Hamish is that it really felt like a mutual beneficial relationship, friendship. We both kind of got a lot out of hanging out with each other, and I'm hoping that John can get that as well. You know, John is a gunslinger. He has been kind of disgraced like Evelyn Miller, and you know, is trying to start anew, very similar to Evelyn Miller. They're both kind of in places that they've never really been before, so they can definitely relate. I'm not saying that John and Evelyn's relationship will be necessarily like Arthur and Hamish, but I do feel like Evelyn is a good guy at his core. I think he's got the right intention. He's the one that introduced us, I've mentioned this before, to Eagle Flies and Rain's Fall back in Saint-Denis. He's definitely a good judge of character. And he seems to like me, so we just got to keep bringing him food so we can continue to support him while he gets back on track with writing his next big thing. We've got some mature venison meat that we can give him now, and still all of those provisions. Uncle and Charles better not be sleeping under a damn tree, I'll tell you that much. Isn't she pretty? Is this not one hell of a pretty property? Still got some work to do here, and lots of stuff that gotta get done, but it's coming together nicely. You know, I'm starting to remember this barn from the original Red Dead Redemption. I think it's the barn where, and hopefully no spoilers if you've never seen the first Red Dead, but I think this is the barn where John Marston dies. I can't remember the circumstances surrounding his death, but I do remember like a barn door flying open, and then just like a shootout on John Marston's property. I can't remember who was after him necessarily or for what, but I do remember that. I'm pretty sure it takes place, he dies on his property, by his son too, and then his son Jack kind of takes over as the incumbent gunslinger. Are they inside the barn? Looks like we're going inside our barn for the first time. This is exciting. Holy moly, this is cool. I like this. And places like this always look so much nicer when they're brand new. The wood still has all that nice color to it. So no, Uncle and Charles are not in here. They're just out back. But damn, this is nice. This is all you need for animals. We can go up here as well. There's a chest up here. There's nothing inside the chest. Perhaps maybe there will be something inside that chest at some point. Just want to make sure that the floors up here are all secure. It's nice, honestly. I hate on Uncle a lot, not so much Charles. I hate on Uncle a lot for being a big old lazy bones, but Cartnarks. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what's good. Big old lazy bones in Uncle. But boy, oh boy, did he do a hell of a job here. Up.
How was your holiday?
I was making money.
And to think, you call me lazy.
You've done a great job.
Well, that crew did help.
Little house, a barn. Look at this place. I can't believe it. Thank you. Thank you both.
This calls for a drink.
Young miss at dancing school is taught the minuet to tread. Young miss at dancing school is taught the minuet to tread. But we go better when we've brought our four-tack to Cathead. Come bustle, bustle, drink about, and let us merry be. Our can is full, we'll pump it out, and then all hands to sea.
Everybody now! Horns and
Forest
forest
wrens
wrens.
the
Back at Huntsman cheers.
When horns and hounds the forest rend his packs, the huntsman cheers. As loud as halloo when we send a broadside to Mount Sears. As loud as halloo when we send a broadside to Mount Sears. Come bustle, bustle, drink about, and let us merry be. Our can is full, we'll pump it out, and then all hands to sea. What's got at sea we spend on shore on sweethearts and our wives. What's got at sea we spend on shore on sweethearts and our wives.
This is a real hoot.
And then my boys hoist sail for more, thus passes sailors' lives. And then my boys hoist sail for more, thus passes sailors' lives. Come bustle, bustle, drink about, and let us merry be. Our can is full, let's drink it out, and then our hands to see. Yeah!
John! Get out here! Uncle's gone!
He's fine. Let me sleep.
Get out here now!
Uh-oh, this is not good.
That fat man will be fine.
No, he won't. Skinner's.
I had a feeling I was going to say with them around so much lately.
My guess is they went that way. But my other guess is they know we're coming after him.
What choice do we have?
None. We just gotta keep our wits about us. We know this is a trap. Let's go.
It's always Uncle with those damn sing-along songs. You know what that reminded me a lot of? Being at camp, the multiple times that, you know, we came back after a big mission and just partied, and we just had a night of partying, and everyone's dancing, and everyone's having a good time and drinking. Or the times that we would go out into town with some of our fellow gang members like Lenny and Hosea and whatnot, and just drink and have a good merry night with them. And we really haven't been able to do that in a long time. It's been very lonely for a very long time, and then everybody got split up, and that really brought back some good memories of just partying and having a good time with the bros.
John, come on.
Slow up!
I tracked them to the road. We'll pick up the trail there.
Shit. It's like we forgot about it. We should have been ready.
It happened. There's nothing we can do except try and get him back.
We let our guards down for one moment.
Hush. Up here. You see that? Blood.
Dear Lord.
They've gone up towards tall trees. Come on.
The one time I tried to cut to the cinematic cam,
John.
kicked
look,
me out of it. Damn.
We should agree on something. If it's really bad, this might not be about saving him.
What the hell are you talking about?
If it's really bad, it might be better to stop the pain.
Jesus. You mean to...
I mean, you can live a week without a scalp, but it ain't a good week. A gut wound, you can live a month, but it's horrible. What they've done to him might have killed him already, with only hurt to come.
We get him, and we see, okay?
We'll make it his call if we can. But it may be we have to decide. Okay?
Okay.
Damn, they're setting this up here to be pretty dark. Oh, that's someone
Did you
screaming.
hear something?
Yeah,
You think they saw us coming?
I don't know.
Guess we'll soon find out.
We'll be better off going on foot.
Okay. Leave the horses in the trees there.
Charles is smart. Uncle's a hell of a character. He's a crazy wacko, but he's a lovable crazy wacko.
Stay.
Friendly as hell, and you know, most of the time it's just looking for a good time. At first I wasn't sure if Charles was actually being like straight up serious, or you know, maybe we were being pranked or something like that, because we did wake up completely drunk out of our minds. But Charles is serious. You know, we've seen the kind of brutality that the Skinners have caused. We just saw it with that lady and her husband that was just hacked to death. And, you know, with the whole scalping. And, you know, we read a little bit about the Skinner Bros, and we know that there are a lot of natives in their group. They do use a lot of, like, old school techniques with archery and... you know, they're just a very kind of primitive, brutal gang. Not really organized like a cartel like Del Lobos or, you know, a city gang in Saint Denis. It's not very organized crime. It's just very chaotic. So hopefully Uncle will be okay.
To the trees. Come on.
I want to make sure I have... good stuff here. It wants me to take my bow and my Litchfield repeater. I'm okay with that selection. And then we have Otis Miller's revolver and Callaway's revolver, two of the unique, rare, valuable revolvers that we've picked up throughout the game from some different gunslingers. So this is one of my favorite. This has been one of my favorite revolver combos so far, just because these two guns are both pretty hard to find, to locate. There's a lot of work in getting both of these revolvers, so it's kind of like kind of lets me show off a little bit by having them. I'm coming.
Up there, to the right. 2 Skinners.
Lookouts?
Probably. Take one. I'll take the other.
So that's why they wanted us to use the bow and arrow, because it's like an early 1900s silencer. The OG way of silently killing someone.
What are you doing?
They're down. Move.
I miss this too, doing these missions with Charles and sneaking around.
Uncle should be close.
He better be.
Keep your head. We'll find him. Come on. Hold. Patrol to our left. Shh. Hold it. Easy, easy. Let him go. That's it. Patrol's taken care of.
And we're looking for something.
Us, most likely. Come on. Let's find where they're holding him.
Thank God that the Skinners are using bow and arrow too here, because otherwise the whole camp would have been on me there. I wanted to take them out. I don't want to let any Skinners survive in the end here. No, I do miss these kinds of missions because we've spent so much time, especially in the story lately, getting our property together and doing a lot of stuff like that. It's been a while that we've had these cool kind of stealth or shooting gallery missions like we had last time with Sadie. So it's been a nice change of pace once again. He said they're probably out looking for us. When they took Uncle, they probably knew that we would stay hot on their tracks and probably try and come back at them.
Yeah.
Dragon.
Is it Uncle?
I'm coming.
Some other poor bastard. He might lead us. Keep on it.
We don't want to kill this guy because he's going to lead us hopefully right back to their camp.
What do you see?
He's picking up. Poor bastard's dead.
If he's walking with the body, we must be close.
Let's take him down before he gets to the rest. He goes into camp, they'll all be looking this way. Okay, let's go.
Oh, that's not good. That big man did have a gun, and he did
I
shoot.
see something. Uh-huh.
Hopefully that won't give my position away. I shot one arrow and missed him the first time, and then he dropped the body and turned around and saw me and fired a shot at me. This is the stranger that he was dragging behind the wagon, not Uncle.
Yeah, that must be their camp.
What do we do?
Let's get up on that boulder, take a look.
Hang in there, old man.
Okay, okay. I can't see much through this mist. Can you look too?
Hold on.
Over here.
Gonna get to a slightly higher point up here where it wants me to get. Look at all the corpses on my mini-map. Each one of those little X's represents a corpse.
Nothing yet.
Oh my god. Well, I'll tell you, it ain't looking good if Uncle is here.
Oh.
That's him.
God.
Oh my
We
god.
gotta go get him.
Careful. Where are they?
They're cooking him.
Where are they?
I don't care. Come on. Charles. Behind you. All right, gents. The surprise is over. We're here for you.
They're coming in from everywhere! Quick, John, get down here!
Uncle! We'll get you out of this!
Behind the rocks! There! There! They came for the old dog!
What do you want from me, John? He'll rip his head off.
That fella!
Uncle, what have they done to you? We gotta get you down.
Okay, we've got some time! Let's get Uncle!
You're okay, old man.
I look okay.
You look awful. You'll be okay. Those bastards. We got them. Looks like we got here just in time. God damn it.
I'll carry him. Come on, Uncle. Come on. Here you go. Ready?
Because here come the rest of them. Quick! There's more of them. I'll cover you. Come on!
Down that gully.
Get me out of here!
Now, right!
Oh, man!
Look after them!
They're up on the edges!
Oh man, I knew I was getting low on health there, but I was testing it. I was testing it a little bit there. I thought I could get just to that next cover up there, and I was going to give myself a health cure. We finally re-upped on all of our tonics recently, so I finally have some health cures in my possession as John Marston. Should have used it there. That was my bad. We shouldn't have to start too far back at that. I felt this has been fun. I feel really badass walking through here with my two revolvers, shooting these guys on cliffs. I like this so far. Awful, absolutely awful what they've done to Uncle Lo. Sick. Man, it sucks that we're coming to the end of the game because I feel like they're just opening a new chapter here with the Skinner Bros and Del Lobos. I feel like I already have a huge vengeance for them. Like, I want to go after them hard like we did with the O'Driscolls. God damn, that's sick.
Got him? Because here come the rest of them. Quick! There's more of them. I'll cover you. Come on.
Down that gully.
Hold on to me.
Up on the wall. Now, right!
We're not clear. You move.
Check the sides!
Oh, damn.
He's taking our hands! Get him!
I got this.
Cock-looking bastard! You're dead!
Give me
Boy, you can't...
Stay behind. Stay behind me.
Okay. I'm taking him up away!
Oh, man.
You're not afraid of death,
Take me off there.
Almost got you! Behind the tree! Here, John! Get up there! We're taking you out.
Hey, buddy. Easy. Right.
Wrong way, John. Let's get out of these woods.
I'm getting.
I'm feeling real weird. Feel good.
wanted to make sure that I took care of as many as possible. Ah. Should have got them a little bit sooner there, but that's okay. So far I've killed everyone that I've seen. You're not gonna fall, buddy. It's okay. It'll be okay, Uncle.
We ain't out till we're home. Ride hard, old man. How's the back?
I think it looks worse than it is.
Burns don't always heal easy.
Sure, but I think this will be fine. As long as it don't get infected. It's much better than I feared.
Hear that, old man? This could have been worse.
He's pretty weak.
Yeah, I bet. Stay with us, you old bastard.
Over here. Almost back.
Hang in there, old timer.
We had to use a couple health cures there in the end, but my Litchfield came up big once again. It's really like a one-hit kills weapon, and I'm loving these revolvers. I've always loved my Schofield pair, and I've had other various pairs here and there with going to the pistols instead of the revolvers, but this new pair that I have, now that I have the two famous gunslinger revolvers with Otis Miller and Callaway's, and I can put them together for my dual wield, it is the most badass dual wield set I think I've used in the game so far. And then that mission had some stealth with the bow. I mean, that was maybe one of my favorite missions of the epilogue so far. It was really cool. I had fire arrows. Oh man, I wish I had known that. I would have utilized that a little bit more. It looks like there's all kinds of different kinds of arrows. Damn. Well, I'll be damned. All right, so we're back here. Suddenly makes a lot of sense that this mission was called Uncle's Bad Day, no?
For the back, come on! Get on your horse and let's take him home.
We're home. Do I really have to call my horse here? Clutch, apparently we need you too, buddy. I guess I've got to be on my horse for it to activate or whatever. Who knows?
Hey, friend.
Yeah. All right.
Uncle. Hey. We're here. All right. Let's get you down. Easy. I got you.
Let's get him comfortable.
Thank you, boys.
Don't mention it.
I thought I was dead.
Don't get all sentimental now, old man. Then I'll really think you're dying. It's gonna be okay. A few days, you're gonna be just fine. You're a survivor.
Easy. Okay. He'll be fine.
You think they'll be back?
Maybe, but I doubt it. We must have killed most of them. This is your land.
Was it theirs once?
I don't think so. I met a fella said the Skinners rode down about 2 years ago. They're just angry men on a rampage, and we got in their way.
Sort of like we used to be?
Yeah, exactly like we used to be.
Maybe we should take up torture.
We got Uncle singing instead of torture. We're gonna be safe here, John. You, your family, you'll all be safe.
I hope so. I really do.
Thank God for
If
Charles.
she ever comes back.
Wouldn't want to do this on my own. And Uncle, of course. Uncle appears really hard on the outside, but he is a true softie on the inside, and he did not deserve that. He's a bit of a slob, and he can be a bit sloppy at times with how he goes about his business, but really awful to see Uncle low at that level. But it looks like we fought off the majority of the Skinner Bros. I don't really anticipate seeing a lot of them around now that we wiped out their whole camp like that. Hopefully not. Hopefully we can get back to, you know, ranching like we're supposed to be. I thought we were done with the whole guns thing. place like that just provides endless amounts of work. Oh, and we're hopping right into the next mission here with the best of women. No freaking way.
You always did have that fine way with words.
You doing all right, son?
Sure, Pop. Can I go see the house?
Sure.
Just give him some time. He'll warm up. It's quite a place you got here.
It's yours.
Ours. I should see about that boy.
Who's my new rival?
Oh, that's Rufus. He's loyal, dumb, and angry, so we're reminded to see
Rufus.
That's your idea of a joke, miss?
I guess.
Come on!
I was gonna say, wouldn't it be funny if we end up finding out like Micah or somebody we know is working with the Skinner Bros or Del Lobos, or they ended up mixing it up somehow that way? Okay, so it's not actually a full-fledged mission that we're going to be jumping into here. It's actually going to give me the opportunity to save, which is what I was hoping for. Man, and John's poured a whole bunch of more work into this place, but I think Abigail and Jack have returned a little bit sooner and unexpectedly than John was anticipating. But for the most part, he's got his property well together now. He's got you can see the fence up here around the barn, an area to allow the animals to go free. In terms of Jack, I mean, Jack has had an extremely tough childhood when you think about it, growing up in the Vanderlyn gang, always being moved around. And really, his mom has always been around, typically around camp. Abigail, she's typically been the one around, but John has never been around consistently. And then you have Abigail leaving John and taking Jack away again, and then just randomly returning. So that's going to have a real big effect on the psyche, really, of Jack. And he's never really been given the opportunity to get close to his father. Abigail and John have tried so hard to steer Jack clear of the kind of lifestyle that John lived, and I think that has kind of alienated them because of how hard they've tried to force him away from anything to do with guns and that kind of outlaw lifestyle. It's not a bad thing, but that's just who John is as a person, and they're not really letting Jack get to know John as a person at all. So I don't know. I just have mixed feelings about that. I think a lot of Jack's animosity towards John is Abigail's fault just as much. Tearing him away like that for a long period of time is not necessarily sending the right message. I know that we didn't really have it together, but look how quickly we were able to get it together. And now suddenly she comes running back. Big surprise now that she's got something to really run back to. I don't know. I just feel like, you know, she didn't really stick by our side the whole way. So I just have some mixed feelings about this situation. There's Charles working hard once again. That's all we're gonna have for this one today, for this stream. Looks like we have multiple main story missions kind of branching off here. One Abigail Roberts and one Jack Marson. Perfect. I'm really looking forward to the Jack Marson one here because I want Jack and John to have a good relationship, and I do kind of want to help out whatever way I can. Hopefully I make good decisions that way, but looks like we got some odd jobs around here. Camp chores. It looks like we have that we can complete, including cleaning the stalls. So now that we have our own property, we have to not only look at upkeep of ourself and our horse, but also of our property and making sure that a lot of the chores get done. That's interesting. Some interesting activities to employ ourselves in here. And obviously, we still have, we need a little bit more time to pass, but we still need to keep an eye on Evelyn Miller and make sure that we are routinely taking food to him. We want to support him while he's writing this new novelist of his. That was a big mission. That was a big chunk. That was really significant. I'm really sorry that Uncle had to endure such a thing from the Skinner Bros, but I think that we've alleviated most of the Skinner Bros problem for the time being anyways. Hopefully they won't return anytime soon. Looks like we got a haircut at the right time. I didn't think Abigail was really going to return here until the very end. But sure enough, here she is. So we got Evelyn Miller. We got our hands full here at Beecher's Hope on our own property. I will likely go back and do Ties That Bind before we completely finish the game. Outside of that, there's really not a whole lot. The coach chips and treasure maps, two kind of revenue streams. It's an option if I'm looking for something small to do, and also continuing my exploration of New Austin. But really, it's just continuing with the main story and some of the finer points here, spending time with my family here at Beecher's Hope, getting things going with Evelyn Miller, and more than likely the Ties That Bind.
Look at me, working the white man's land for no pay. How I let this happen?
Look, if you need money, I'll get you money.
I'm just joking with you.
Oh, Charles, the funny guy.
Right now, this is good for me. And I know you do the same.
You say the word, I'll be there.
All right.
Amazing. Wouldn't want anybody else at my side other than him and Uncle. Two great men. I mean, when you think about some of the scumbag men that we met through the Vanderlyn gang. It's a good thing we ended up with Charles and Uncle. So there's our main story missions over there. That's all I got for you. Make sure to like and subscribe, as I know that you always do. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like, as I know you do on all my videos. That's how I should phrase that. And keep that convo going down below. You know I love to hear your feedback. So keep it going. We are 85.7% complete so far. John is reunited with Abigail and Jack. It'll be interesting to see how this turns out. We'll see you on the other side, I guess.